in the lead up to getting the aircraft to the park, I mean, those last 2 days, getting the aircraft ready and getting it to the park and setting it up was extraordinary. And I don't think I'd slept for about 2 days or 3 days, in the lead up to the anniversary. And we got the plane there, and I got lumped with security, and I was exhausted. I was absolutely exhausted. And I remember it was freezing that night, and I didn't have a jacket. And, I was walking around Anderson Park and around the streets there just trying to stay awake, and I remember the police paddy wagon pulling up. And, I was hysterical. I was that exhausted, they thought I was drunk. And, tried to arrest me. It was, that was a highlight, I can assure you. And, but, being up and watching that sun come up, over the park and over the aircraft. And, I guess that's probably the first moment where I'd seen the aircraft assembled and together. And I guess I was very fortunate because I had quite a bit of time by myself before everyone else arrived, I guess to take in what we'd created and what we'd achieved. And in a sense it was nice because I was there by myself 75 years or 76 years since the aircraft had been in Anderson Park. 76 years later, by myself, seeing the Lady Southern Cross in Anderson Park for the first time, and it was kind of nice. And you sort of think, well, how good's that? Like it was, it was good.
Was when you realised what the project was worth, was at Anderson Park, and was having the families there, and was having them appreciate what you've actually built for them. It is a surreal feeling. It's very hard to describe how you feel when you've completed it, and they're there and they appreciate what you've done. I don't know if they understand what went on behind the build of the plane and the trials and tribulations and the arguments and decisions and the difficulties and the fun too. I must say, it wasn't all hard work. I mean, we had a great time building it. There's no doubt about that. We had a great time, and it brought a lot of people together. A lot of people around here, a lot of local people and they brought their skills in, their assistance, their time. I mean, everyone got behind the whole project. It wasn't just about one person or one event, or it gelled a local community to a large degree to make especially the 75th happen.
For me personally, I mean, the families have supported the work that I've been doing for the last 6 years or 7 years, I think we're getting into now. The families have been there, and they've lived this project as much as I have, and they've been there for me, and they've stuck by me, and they've supported me, and it's been an incredibly long process. And to have the ability to give something back, it was, I mean, you can't describe that feeling, and I mean, it was interesting, the 75th anniversary, there was a lot of pressure on me there to commercialise that event, to promote the commemorative release, to promote, I guess people to get involved and to purchase the products. And I'd made the decision not to commercialise this day, and this day was about purely commemorating the 75th anniversary, the death of these men. It was about honouring them and remembering them and doing this for the families and not trying to capitalise off that. And that was so important. you know, I remember in the couple of weeks leading up to the anniversary, I mean, this was debated and argued, you know, and, you know, I think probably for me, sticking by that decision and purely doing this for the families and for the memories of these men, you know, is something that I'm, you know, incredibly proud of.
Hopefully it will progress from there to the ultimate goal of, you know, getting to the final flight, and completing it, and completing the what was back in the day one of the greatest aviation adventures, I guess, at the time, and should have been one of the greatest aviation achievements of the time.
When the expedition to Myanmar fell apart, you know, and this is the wonderful thing about this project. I mean, when I couldn't achieve that, you know, the government of Myanmar really stepped up and they said, look, anytime you guys want to come, anytime you want to bring the families, you're welcome. And, you know, I think from that, what we have now is the opportunity to not only return to that location and take the families with us, but, you know, to go back now when Charles is going to fly the actual aircraft from Myanmar to Melbourne and finish his father's flight 75 years on. You know, it's just going to make it, I think, a much more significant event.
Not all of the team could be there on the day, for whatever reason, but it was a wonderful thing, and everybody that had anything to do with this project should be proud. Totally, mate. I mean, we all should be.
The intention to return with the families to Myanmar, you know, is something that I'm still striving for, and you know, the location itself holds so much history, and it's this magical location. It's absolutely pristine. It hasn't changed in 75 years, and it really is like walking back in time. And the day, you know, that I return there with the families is just going to be, you know, a wonderful, wonderful day, and you know, it really motivates you to keep working for that, and you know, we'll get there eventually.
Don't just watch history, be a part of it. Become a history maker. historymaker.net.au